Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing teachings of Lord Chaitanya by Srila Prabhupada. He says there that the manifestation of internal potency is actual reality, whereas the external manifested energy in the form of material existence is temporary and illusory, no more real than the mirage in the desert. In the mirage of the desert, there is no actual water. By the interaction of something else, there is the appearance of water. Real water is somewhere else. Similarly, the manifestive cosmic creation appear like reality, but the true reality of which this is but a reflection only is somewhere else in the spiritual world, in which there are no mirages. Absolute truth is there and not there. Here, everything is relative truth, one seeming truth depending on another. This cosmic creation is an interactory resultant of the three modes of nature, and temporary manifestations are so called, so created to present an illusion of reality to the bewildered mind of conditioned soul, appearing as so many species of life, including the higher demigods like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, etc. In fact, there is no reality in the manifested world, but it appears so on account of the true reality in spiritual world, where the personality of Godhead eternally exists with his transcendental paraphernalia. The chief engineer of a complicated construction does not personally take part in the construction, but it is he only who knows all the nooks and corners of the construction, because everything is done by his direction only. He knows everything about the construction directly and indirectly. Similarly, the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme engineer of this cosmic creation, knows very well what is happening in the nooks and corners of the cosmic creation. Although the things are apparently done by someone else, from Brahma down to the insignificant, and nobody is independent in material creation. And everywhere there is the hand of the Supreme Lord. All material elements as well as spiritual sparks are but emanation from Him only. And whatever is created in this material world is but the interaction of the two energies, material and spiritual, or absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Vasudeva. A living entity called chemist can manufacture water in the chemical laboratory by mixing hydrogen and oxygen gases, but in reality, the living entity works in the laboratory under the direction of Supreme Lord, and the materials with which the chemist works are also supplied by the Lord. As such, the Lord knows everything directly and indirectly. He is cognizant of all the minute details of everything and is fully independent. He is compared with the mine of gold, and the cosmic creations in different forms are compared with the gold rings and necklaces. The gold ring and gold necklaces are qualitatively one with the gold in the mine, but quantitatively the gold in the mine and the gold in the earring or necklace are different. The old philosophy of absolute truth is therefore that it is simultaneously one and different. Nothing is absolutely equal to the absolute truth, but at the same time, nothing is independent of absolute truth. Conditioned souls, beginning from Brahma, the engineer of the particular universe, down to the insignificant ant, are all creating something, but none of them are independent of the Supreme Lord. The materialist wrongly thinks that there is no creator save except his own good self, and this is called Maya or illusion. On account of his poor fund of knowledge, the materialist cannot see beyond the preview of his imperfect senses. And thus he thinks that matter automatically takes its own shape without a conscious background. This is recited in the first verse of Bhagavatam by Srila Vasudeva, who is a liberated soul and compiled this book of authority after his mature spiritual perfection. The complete whole or absolute truth being the source of everything, nothing is independent of the whole body. Any action and reaction of the body becomes cognizable fact to the embodied whole. Similarly, if the whole creation is the body of the absolute whole, then nothing is unknown to absolute directly or indirectly. In the Shruti Mantra, it is stated that the absolute all or Brahma is the ultimate source of everything. Everything emanates from him, everything is maintained by him, at the end, everything enters into him only. That is the law of nature. In the Smriti Mantra, also the same thing is confirmed. It is said there that at the beginning of Brahma's millennium, the source from which everything emanates, and at the end of millennium, the reservoir that everything enters into is the absolute truth or Brahman. Material scientists haphazardly take it for granted that the ultimate source of all the planetary system is the sun, but they are unable to explain the source of the sun. Herein, the ultimate source is explained. According to Vedic literature, Brahma is the creator of the universe, yet he also had to meditate to get inspiration for such creation. Therefore, Brahma or the sun is not the ultimate creator. It is stated here in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that Brahma was taught the Vedic knowledge by the personality of Godhead. One may argue that Brahma is the original living being within the universe, and who could then give him an inspiration as there is no second being at the time. In the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Supreme Lord inspired the second creator Brahma, who then could go on with the creative function. What we have already mentioned above about the supervising engineer is applicable here. The real mind behind all creative agents is the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna has personally admitted that it is he only who superintends over the creative energy, Prakriti, or the sum total of matter. Sri Vasudeva therefore worships neither Brahma nor the sun, but the Supreme Lord who guides both Brahma and the sun in their different activities of creation. The first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam in the particular Sanskrit words Abhijna and Swarat are significant. These two words distinguish the Lord from all the living entities. No living entity other than Supreme Being, the absolute personality of God, is either Abhijna or Swarat. That is, none of the entities are fully cognizant or fully independent. Therefore, everyone has to learn from the superior all about knowledge. Even Brahma, who is the first living being, within this material world has to meditate upon the Supreme Lord and take help from Him in order to create. When Brahma or the Sun cannot create anything without acquiring required knowledge from the superior, then what to speak of material scientists who are fully dependent on so many things? Jagadish Chandra Bose, Isaac Newton, Professor Einstein, etc., of the modern scientists who may be boastful of their respective creative energies were also dependent on the Supreme Lord for so many things. After all, the respective highly intelligent brains of these gentlemen were created not the products of any human being. The brain is created by another agent other than the celebrated scientists themselves. A brain like that of Jagadish Bose or Isaac Newton could have been manufactured by any human being, then they would have produced many such brains instead of eulogizing the brains of these scientists. Even the scientists could not manufacture a similar brain, what to speak of other foolish atheists who defy the authority of Lord. I think we can stop here. So I think we are in the chapter. We are talking about the why study the Vedanta Sutra. Talking about the knowledge and creation, and especially today, it talks about supreme Lord, absolute truth are the same. Everything is created by them. Whatever we see in the material energy is not the real, but it's a perverted reflection of spiritual world. And and this cosmic creation is the result of three modes of nature, and these temporary manifestations are created. Uh, you know. Uh, uh, for the sake of living entities or conditioned soul who are want to live away from the Supreme Lord and without remembering the relation with Krishna. And I think Prabhupada gave the example of chief engineer, and where chief engineer knows the cons of the construction because everything is done by his direction only. Similarly, supreme personality of Godhead is our supreme engineer for all universe, spiritual or material, and and it also talks about human beings can create something, but his brains are not created. But so similarly, uh, the whole philosophy of absolute truth is it is simultaneously one and different. Achintya Veda concept here. And it also talk about how the in Srimad Bhagavatam first verse defines everything. Supreme Krishna is the ultimate supreme. He's fully cognizant and fully independent. Everything is emanates from him. Nothing comes out of without his will, and everything connected to Krishna. And but I think that's what we learned today. So we can stop here.